North Block. I also spoke with BJP leader Subramanian Swamy earlier in the day about the possibility of him being a part of cabinet, in fact of him being in North Block. There's been a bunch of WhatsApp messages, SMSs suggesting that perhaps Subramanian Swamy could be one of the contenders for the role of the finance minister. I asked Swamy if that offer were to come his way, what his response would be, and if he had any feelers to suggest that this was credible information.
I can't be contending and waiting for an offer. Actually, nobody knows, because I was with all my colleagues in Ahmedabad yesterday, or Gandhinagar, when the oath-taking ceremony for the new chief minister was taking place, and all of them said they hadn't heard either. So nobody seems to know. Only newspaper seems to know, and they keep changing the names. Earlier on it was somebody else for finance ministry, now then it was somebody else, and now my name has also been brought in. I think it's just wild guesses, if you ask me.
Well, speculation continues, Mr. Swamy. I guess all will be revealed on Monday the 26th. But let me ask you this. What should the priorities for the new government be? What would you like Mr. Modi to address as soon as he enters office? Because you believe that the economy is facing a crisis and you believe that immediate intervention is the need of the hour. So what would you expect him to prioritize?
Well, first of all, there is a depression in the country, a psychological feeling of, sort of pessimism that has to be removed. We have to do some things which immediately impact the public. For example, tax reforms is something that immediately impacts. So he could do that. He has to do that. Then he has to be ready, get ready for the new budget, which should be there in July. And we have to make a presentation which will be different from all the pedestrian budgets we have had so far. So that would be the second priority, and the third would be really, in my opinion, world-class infrastructure, because that's the one that would attract not only internal trade but also foreign direct investment. So I would say this, and then finally, which is a little longer term, we have to restructure our educational system in such a way that young people become innovative, they become risk takers as opposed to the present risk averters, and we also have to clean up the rigging aspects in our financial institutions, particularly the stock market, hot money, which is now very high proportion in this country through instruments like participatory notes. It's all well laid out, and Modi knows exactly what he wants to do.
All right, you've articulated the priorities. Some of those are, of course, long-term priorities, or at least results we will see in the long term. But Mr. Swamy, do you believe that the BJP should attempt to achieve or stick to that 4.1% fiscal deficit target? We've got a debate on where people like Mr. Shori believe that that target is a tall ask. Do you believe that that number is sacrosanct and there has to be a clear intent and a plan for fiscal consolidation to be able to deliver on the 4.1% number? Or do you believe that perhaps you want to see a more credible fiscal deficit number in the budget?
Well, there's a conservative approach to this problem, and there's also a dynamic approach to the problem, and each will depend on the situation which is appropriate. But I think at the present time, I am against anything that dampens the investment climate, and I certainly think that raising interest rates, which the Reserve Bank has been doing, killing the patient so that the temperature of the body can come down, this approach I'm not in favor. I think India is ready for some ambitious and risky attempts to pump in money into the investment field. Raising the rate of investment and backing it with suitable productivity raising innovations is, I think, the key for the next budget. That's what should be, in my opinion, the focus. Incidentally, fiscal deficit. And anyway, Mr. Chidambaram cooked up all those numbers, so I don't even believe those bloody numbers, you see.
Since you don't believe the numbers that Mr. Chidambaram laid out anyway, do you believe that you should stick to the fiscal deficit roadmap laid out by him and the UPA, or do you believe that the BJP should embark on a riskier approach? Also, the need of the hour means additional spending on things like public infrastructure, etc., which may push the deficit higher. Do you believe that that is the need of the hour today?
Well, the Indian economy today is characterized by excess capacity. And I think in that situation, trying to restrict the deficit is a stupid move. Yes, try to be economical, try to be efficient, try not to squander resources. But I don't think in a situation where there's so much excess capacity, there's so much desire to increase investments when because of the pessimism they're not doing. I think that would be not such a high priority item for me, what the fiscal deficit level is.
Okay, let me ask you then, are you in favor of a much more liberal approach as far as FDI is concerned, whether it's defense or other sectors?
Well, if it was left to me, I would formulate foreign direct investment as follows. Anything that gives us cutting-edge technology, which we need, pull out all the stops. Let them come in and let them earn whatever profit they want to earn, which they feel comfortable with. That would be part A. Part B would be any foreign investment other than cutting-edge technology deliverers would be welcome if the level playing field exists and there's transparency in the process. Level playing field, for example, give the classic example of Walmart. There is no level playing field between the Indian trader, who is going to be the competitor, and Walmart, because in their access to funds, Walmart certainly gets at very low interest rates funds from the American banks, whereas our traders don't get it anything less than 12%. It's not level playing field. So we have to find some way. If Walmart seriously wants to come, then there has to be some reciprocity. Indian companies should be able to go to the United States with the Indian labor, cheap Indian labor, to build houses and roads in the United States, which is presently not permitted. So transparency, level playing field, any foreign direct investment welcome. If it's cutting edge technology such as hydrogen fuel cells or desalination of seawater, that kind of thing, then we will give every assistance for them to come in. That would be my approach.
So you do agree with a more liberal approach as far as FDI is concerned. In that context then, are you willing to give up your opposition as far as FDI in aviation, particularly FDI in greenfield joint ventures in aviation, into companies like the Tata Singapore joint venture or the AirAsia Tata joint venture?
As long as it's legal, it's presently illegal. That's my only objection. And I don't like the way they have cut corners, they cheated, they lied to courts. That's not the way to do it. And I don't like these buccaneers coming from small city-states and giving us lectures on what our law should be. But if it is legal and is according to policy, yes, I have no problem with that.
All right, Mr. Swamy, we will know on Monday whether you do make it to the Council of Ministers or not, but appreciate you joining us here on India Business Hour with your thoughts on the policy prescriptions that the Modi government should take forward to revive the economy. Appreciate your presence.